Right, hi guys, it's me back again with another video. So in this video, we are going to do a full review of the Kirkland Signature Stainless Steel Cookware set. So this is a 5-ply fully clad cookware with a copper core. You can see the copper cutout right here. So this is a set that Costco sold under the Kirkland brand approximately 2 to 4 years ago for $200 for the whole set, or sometimes even $180 on sale, which is excellent value for money. Now these days, I'm not sure if it's available anymore, or at least I can't find it online, but somebody mentioned in the comments on my previous video that this was $320 now, so it may still be available, okay? So you just need to check that yourself if you are in the US. Okay, so let's have a look at the composition of this set. So I got this off the New Zealand local marketplace. Now, there are supposed to be 6 pans in total in this set, but I only have the 4 that you see here. I got the set without the skillets. Now, this on your screen now is what you get in the set if you buy it new. Okay, so pause the video if you need to have a look. So what I've got here is the 8-quart Stockpot, which of course you can also use as a Dutch oven or casserole. I've got a 4.5-quart Saute pan. I've got a 3-quart saucepan, and in the corner there, I've got a 2-quart saucepan. So we're going to do the review without the skillets. Now I have to say, this set, the composition of this set is excellent. Okay, so it's got very generously sized pans that you typically don't get in the other sets. I mean, rather in from other manufacturers. Now let's have a look at the build and the specifications of this cookware. So this is a 5-ply construction with a copper core. As you can see here, the 5 layers with a copper core in the middle. So the arrangement of the layers is the same as the all-clad copper core series, but there are 2 differences. So first difference is that the all-clad copper core is only 1.7 millimeters thick in total. But this Kirkland set cookware is a lot thicker. It looks like it's about 2.7 millimeters. I can't find anywhere the official number, but just by looking at it, just by feeling it, it looks like it's about 2.7. The other difference is that the copper layer in this Kirkland cookware is thinner than the all-clad. Okay, so just by looking at it from the edge here, the copper layer, it doesn't look like it's more than 0.8 or so millimeter thick. So it's somewhere between 0.5 and 0.7, I would say, just by eyeballing it. Now, here are the weight and the dimensions of each pan that I have here if you're interested. So pause the video if you need to. I've also got the bottom diameter of each piece, which you may find helpful. Okay, so let's have a look at the handles. Nothing fancy. It's a very functional, solid feeling helper handle, and also of course these handles here are all the same, joined by 2 rivets. So this is quite comfortable. And the main handle is also, again, it's nothing fancy, but it's quite functional as well, quite comfortable for your hand to hold. I don't think it's solid. Okay, it looks quite solid, but if you tap on it, it doesn't sound solid. So I think it's hollow, but that's okay. So it's still perfectly functional. And then you've got the 2 rivets and the Kirkland Signature branded engraved at the base of the handle. Now the quality of the lid is also quite decent. Okay, so well, again nothing fancy, but it's the handle here is large. You can easily fit your hand in here, and the edge of the lid is finished also quite nicely. Okay, so it's I remember when I did the all-clad video, I complained that the edge of the lid was very rough, but here the edge is actually machined quite smooth. So inside the pan, you also get, in all the pans, you get capacity markers, which is nice. See here, so this is the 4.5-quart Saute pan. You got the capacity markers up to 3 quarts. And if we have a look at the bottom of the pan, let's rotate it like this. And this is what you see on the bottom of the pan. So for the cooking test, we are going to do meatballs in tomato sauce, which is also exactly the same as what we did for the all-clad D7 in the previous video. So first we heat the pan slowly. Now the bottom diameter, oh, by the way, which I used this 4.5-quart Saute pan for this test. The bottom diameter of this pan is quite wide. Okay, it's about 25 centimeters, which is about 2.5 to maybe even 3 centimeters larger than my burner. So I heated the pan slowly. Now, as you can see in this table, it did take a very long time for the pan to reach around 180 degrees. Okay, so I heated it on a setting of 5 out of 9, and it took about 20 minutes for the pan to reach, center of the pan to reach 180 degrees Celsius. So this is as slow as the Orclad D7 that I tested, okay, because I think, yeah, the diameter is quite wide, and the pan is also built reasonably solid. So now the heating, I was impressed. It was very, very even. The temperature difference between the center and the edge, most of the time it was around 10 to 15 degrees, which is very impressive. At one point I did see about 15 or maybe 20 degrees, but that was just in one corner here, which I am not too bothered about. Now, during the heating, I've got two pictures here. The center of the pan became raised, okay? So I had to keep on tilting the pan like this to make sure the oil flows nicely all over the surface. Now, this is perfectly normal, okay? So this happens with almost literally every single pan of around 2.7 millimeter thick that I've tested, so that was perfectly expected. Now, next, we sear the meatball, so let's have a look and listen to the sound. And now let's turn the meatballs over, and we can see that the meatballs got a very nice sear, even on the edge, even the ones near the edge as well. And this is the second batch of meatballs, and again we can see that they got a very nice sear as well. So we add the wet stuff, the carrot, celery, onion, and then we add the tomato passata. And the simmering, as you can see here, is pretty even. Okay, so there are some bubbling forming on there are some bubbles forming on the edges, not as intense as the center, but keep in mind that again this is quite a wide saute pan, so that's perfectly fine for me as well. Right, just sitting by the seaside for a bit of change in scenery. Now, that was the 4.5 quart saute pan, which did a fantastic job. So next, we're going to have just a quick look at the 8 quart Stockpot. So I'm going to use this Stockpot to make a big batch of ragu. So again, heating it this time on a setting of 6 out of 9, because last time with a 5 out of 9 setting, that was just really too slow. So this time I heated it up a little bit faster, and as you can see here, the heat distribution was very, very even. It kept the temperature difference between the center and the edge to about under 10 degrees or so, so that's fantastic. Now, the beef goes into the pan for searing. Now, the searing, it wasn't as good as I thought, okay? So the beef, I mean, if you see here, the searing performance, yeah, it was okay. It was not fantastic. So maybe I could have managed the heat a little bit better. So I think if I did it again, I'll do a better job of it next time. The beef, it got some browning, but not as much as I was hoping for. Next, in goes the celery, carrots, and onions for the sofrito. Now, you might say this is too much, and it probably is, because I like to put in a lot of it when I make these sort of recipes. Now, here the temperature of the pan definitely dropped quite a lot, okay? So I think with this amount of vegetables, it did overwhelmed the pan by quite a bit, and it took quite a while for the heat to recover. Okay, so the heat, so the vegetables, they were boiling, rather steaming in the pan for quite a while before they actually started frying. So here I think the pan could do a little bit better, because I think the responsiveness is just not there. It's not quite there. With the Demeyer Atlantis, for example, with a 7-ply bottom with a 2 millimeter copper disc, that pan, it definitely responds a lot quicker. Okay, so with that pan, yes, I will get a big temperature drop when all the vegetables goes in, but the pan is able to recover. It's able to recover quite quickly, whereas this pan, it took quite a bit of time to recover. All right, so now let's have a look at the simmering. Now, as you can see, the simmering was very even, and so that's very nice to see. So it did a little bit better than the 4.5 quart saute pan, but then again, the diameter of this pan is a bit smaller. Okay, so then of course I would expect it to do better. Okay, so that's it for this 8 quart Stockpot, which of course, like I said, it can easily be used as a Dutch oven or casserole. And next we'll have a quick look at the 3 quart saucepan. Now, for a 3 quart, kind of a small medium-sized 3 quart saucepan like this, I typically don't do anything too complicated. Like, we're talking about boiling a cup of eggs, boiling a bit of pasta, boiling a bit of ramen, maybe a bit of soup, a bit of pasta sauce. So all I was interested in for this pot was just kind of how fast it works. Okay, so I did a very simple test. I've got three very similar or almost identical sized pans. So all of these are approximately 3 quarts. So 3 quarts, that one maybe 3.2 quarts. That's the Demire Atlantis. This Le Creuset is 3 quarts. So in all of these pans, I just boiled 2 liters of water, and we're gonna see how fast each of these pans take, or how long each of these pans take to boil the 2 liters of water. Right, as you can see, here are the results. So the fastest was actually the Le Creuset 3 quart 3-ply pan. That took just over 15 minutes. The Demire Atlantis, it took approximately 1 minute longer to boil the same 2 liters of water. And this Kirkland, well, it took a whole 10 minutes longer to boil the same 2 liters of water. Now, to me, that's unbelievable. And I was so surprised that I was thinking, well, did I do something wrong in the test? But then again, how could I have done anything wrong? I used the exact same burner on the exact same stove. I boiled the exact same 2 liters of water. The water at the beginning was at the same temperature, so that's the coldest from the tap. So I don't see what could possibly have gone wrong. But anyway, so here is the result. And I think maybe it's because of 2 reasons. This pan is built a little bit thicker than the Le Creuset, so that explains why it would take longer. And also the bottom diameter is wider than the Le Creuset, so the burner was a little bit small for this pan, so that could be another reason. But yeah, look, I was surprised that it took such a long time to boil the same 2 liters of water. Yeah, like we saw in the last test with the 8-liter Stockpot making the ragu, the responsiveness is not the strength of these pans. Okay, so these pans are not that responsive. So I think the copper layer is just, it doesn't really help with the speed of cooking. Okay, so I think it's just there mostly for show. So anyway, yep, here are the results. Now, what do I like about this set? Well, look, first of all, this set, it offers amazing value for money. Okay, so for the price of 200 or maybe say around 300 these days, even at 300, this is still a fantastic set. I like the solid build and decent thickness, so the pan feels solid. It feels quite heavy. The thickness is very decent. The handles are nice and comfortable. And also what I really like about it is that the composition of this set is excellent. Okay, so in this set, which again I don't have here, you get a 10 and 12-inch fry pan. A lot of other sets, they typically give you the smaller 8 and 10-inch versions. You get a nice 4.5 quart Saute pan. Again, a lot of other sets, even the all-clad, they typically give you a smaller 3 quart. You get a large, and also, of course, you get a large 8 quart Stockpot. Okay, so I really like the composition. They didn't cheap out on the composition there. But what do I dislike about this set? Okay, let's talk about the dislikes. Look, with the price in consideration of, let's say, $200 to $300, there is literally nothing that I would complain about these pans. Okay, so for that price, there's nothing to complain about. But okay, let's say if this set was, say, around $600 or $1,000, okay, then I would complain about the following things. So first of all, the edges are not sealed. Okay, so the edge here, the finishing on the edge, first of all, is not sealed. Secondly, the quality is somewhat average. You can kind of feel the top stainless steel layer separately if you run your finger across it. But then again, for $200, I'm not going to complain. Second little dislike is that the 3 quart saucepan, it doesn't have a helper handle. Okay, so with this can, if you have this full of liquid, it can get quite heavy, and a helper handle I think would be nice here. The next little dislike is that on the larger 12-inch skillet, you also don't get a helper handle. And the last thing I would say is that look, this copper layer, I feel it's too thin to have any real benefit. So I feel like Kirkland, they put this copper layer in with the cutout here. They did that mostly for show. Okay, so I would honestly have been perfectly happy if they just made this pan with just aluminum of the same thickness. That would have been fine as well. But I would also say that, look, we saw that this pan distributed heat very evenly, even when the burner was a little bit undersized. So I do think the copper layer, it helped a little bit there, but I definitely don't think this copper layer helps a lot with the responsiveness, because as we saw in the heating test, this pan still heated very, very slowly even with the copper layer. Right, okay, so let's talk about what are some alternatives on the market that you can possibly consider as well. So look, brands like Tremontina, Cuisinart, Calphalon, Goldilocks, they all have a set around this sort of price range, okay? Let's say $250 to $300. But I looked at those sets, and I would still recommend this Kirkland set more than the other ones I just mentioned. Because for a couple of reasons. First of all, this set is really built very solid. Okay, so I really love the solid feel and the weight of the set. And the second reason is that again, like I mentioned, the composition of this set is much better. Okay, so you get very generously sized pans, larger saute pan, larger stock pot, and a 12-inch skillet that you typically don't get in the other sets. So I still rate this set as definitely well above the other ones that I've just mentioned. Right, lastly, should you buy this set? Well, absolutely. Okay, so this is one of the most resounding yeses I've ever given to a piece of cookware or a set of cookware. So in regards to value for money, I think this is the best I've ever reviewed. Just consider this 4.5 quart saute pan here. It performed better. I did a review on the All-Clad D5 3-quart saute pan quite a while ago. I think it was a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. And this thing performs better, and it's larger. And the whole price of this set is about the same, or maybe even less than the price of that 1 3-quart saute pan from All-Clad. So look, unless you really care about having a famous brand like All-Clad, or unless you really want your cookware to be made in the USA, this Kirkland set is a fantastic choice. How can you look past this set when the cost of that one All-Clad pan is more than the cost of this whole set? Okay, so that's it for this Kirkland set. Really, really good. Highly recommend it, and I'll see you in the next video.